Hello friends, welcome to Dr. Sudhir's classes. So today in this video we are going to discuss cultural relativism. What is it? What is its origin, its significance, its criticisms, and there is a debate between Ruth Benedict and Clyde Cluckone. So how that debate settled. All these things we are going to discuss in this video. So let us start with cultural relativism. What is it? So cultural relativism is a philosophy, it's a theory, it's an approach and a tool of anthropological research for objective and holistic analysis of culture. This concept was first of all propounded by Frank Boas in reaction to classical evolutionists and their ethnocentric approach. Along with Frank Boas, there were other scholars who were basically his students like Kroeber, Alfred Kroeber, Ruth Benedict, Margaret Mead, and Geertz, who followed and propagated this approach. Basically, cultural relativism is the idea that a person's beliefs, values, and practices should be understood based on that person's own culture rather than be judged against the criteria of another. Every culture is unique and has to be understood in its own context. This idea was basically against the ethnocentrism, the academic ethnocentrism, the cultural ethnocentrism of the West. So, what is ethnocentrism? So, ethnocentrism is a concept which was introduced by William Graham Sumner in his book Folkways. He says they basically that it simply means judging other cultures and their practices or the people themselves through our own cultural biases or value sets. Basically, judging others with our value sets is ethnocentrism. So, you know that what is cultural relativism. So when did it originated? So it was originated against the cultural ethnocentrism of West, right? Cultural ethnocentrism means that people judge other cultures from their own standards. Like some consider that beef eating is bad. Basically, same-sex marriage is bad. Cousin marriage is bad. So basically, considering other customs, the customs of other cultures and their traditions as inferior to themselves is cultural ethnocentrism. It was basically against the cultural imperialism of West. The cultural imperialism of West basically denote that the Victorian civilization is the epitome of progress and the other cultures are inferior, right? You can say, you can understand with the example of white man's burden, right? The third point of its origin, so it was a reaction against academic ethnocentrism. Academic ethnocentrism means the classical evolutionists, they considered that Victorian culture or the civilization is the highest stage of the progress of mankind. So it was against this academic ethnocentrism that Frank Boas propounded this concept. Now, what is the significance of cultural relativism? Why it is important for us? So basically, it is important in anthropological research because it promotes holism and objectivity in that research. Suppose some anthropologists, while they do the field research, participant observation in any culture, and they start feeling that their customs are inferior, So naturally that will be reflected, that bias will be reflected in their write-up also, right? In their ethnographies also. So that is why it is important. Second, this concept, cultural relativism, can reduce cultural conflicts such as racism, ethnic violence, regionalism, communalism, and thereby it can promote world peace, tolerance, and thereby prosperity. Third, it can promote awareness about the unique and bizarre culture and their practices of any particular group. Right? Some culture can have any unique cultural tradition that may not be looked, you know, that may not be considered good by other cultures. So that can be another significance. Fourth, it can promote welfare through bottom up approach. How? Because cultural relativism can give us more basic factual and objective information about a particular culture, and if we have basic ground reality about a culture, we can basically formulate good policies, and naturally they will have better impact on those communities. Then if we think that this concept is such a good thing that it can promote peace, it can counter biases, right? Then why it is criticized by some scholars? Even anthropologists have criticized this concept. Why it was criticized? Basically, some scholars believe that cultural relativism justifies every cultural practices. अगर हर कल्चर इवन अगर हर कल्चर की एक प्रैक्टिस वैलिड हो जाए, सपोज how do you feel if some culture practices cannibalism, or some cultures practices the you can say the female genital mutilation or head hunting? So there are some examples that are visible on the screen, that if cultural relativism is valid, that means every culture is valid and their practices are also valid because they are unique. Then what was done by Nazis, the Holocaust of Jews, was also valid. The female genital mutilation by Dawoodi Bohra community and some African communities who basically did the breast burning, that is also valid. The cultural practice of head hunting among Naga community is also valid. The practice of witch hunting, which is still prevalent in India, is also valid. The foot binding, the practice in China, this also is valid. The justification for cannibalism is also there then, right? Then it also justifies slavery, right? And basically not non-granting of sexual rights to LGBTs is also valid. Okay, so all these things are basically put in criticism of cultural relativism. Now, not only this, there exists a debate between one of the most important proponent after Frank Boas, that is Ruth Benedict and Clyde Cluckon. So what is that debate? Ruth Benedict was the most important proponent after Frank Boas of this concept of cultural relativism. She wrote a book, Patterns of Culture, in which she says that every culture is unique and has its own pattern, right? And what she says that all cultures are coexisting and equally valid patterns of life which mankind has created for itself from the raw materials of existence. In her view, and in the view of American anthropology of the time, each culture is self-contained, autonomous, separate, but equal. Each makes sense in its own context, and all you have to do is know the context to understand what people are doing and why they are doing, right? So we must understand people from their own context. In counter to Ruth Benedict's idea, there is a concept of basically cultural universals, right? Which was propounded by Clyde Kluckhohn. Clyde Kluckhohn says that ethical relativity is really a special case of cultural relativity. If cultural relativism is valid, then ethical relativity is also valid. So, this being so, he concluded that Benedict's doctrine of cultural relativity or cultural relativism, coexisting and equally valid patterns of life, precludes moral criticism of any cultural practice, including slavery, cannibalism, Nazism, and communism. If you adopt Benedict's position, Kluckhohn suggested, then you cannot be critical of evil as you notice it in the world around you, whatever your favorite examples of evil may be. Right? So, what he says that it must be replaced. The Boasian and Benedict's relativism must be replaced with cultural universals, right? That means one universal can be that thou shall not kill you, right? I shall not kill you, or you shall not kill me. Basically, killing, murdering is not murdering, is a cultural universal. Love can be a cultural universal. Now, कैसे ये debate settle हुआ? So you can settle this debate. The debate was going on. So for our understanding, what you can say, how you can conclude your answer, you can say that Clifford Geertz pointed out that the conservative critiques of cultural relativism did not really understand the broader meaning of cultural relativism proposed by Boas and his followers. We shall not confuse the cultural relativism with moral relativism. Cultural relativism has redefined how individual cultures should be perceived by outsiders, thereby helped in promotion of tolerance and world peace, and how anthropological inquiry should be conducted. So that is all from my side about cultural relativism and its criticisms. I hope you have liked it. Thank you. Have a good day.